Good afternoon, everybody. Wanted to go through pretty quickly the latest revision of my, what's actually my backup pedal board here, using the HX Stomp, Nemesis delay, Ventris reverb, MC6, Hoff is my always-on plate reverb, the Dunlop mini pedal, and this custom box down here that I just built in the last day. So anyway, the switch box is basically a 6-foot switch box that adds on to the MC6. It allows you to access 6 more, program settings, presets. And what I'm doing with it here is I really found it difficult on the MC6 to not hit 2 buttons at once. It was just too compact, and I thought, well, for I think it was under $50, I could add this switch. And I could space things out. I got the casing, the switches, the jacks, the diodes even that you need for it from Mammoth Electronics, wired it up. Probably took me a couple hours off and on, but and had to drill out the case too, but so much better configuration. Switches are farther apart, and basically what I'm doing is I'm putting all of my normally used stuff on this 6-button extension foot switch here at the very front edge of the pedal board. So what I've got going on is, first switch here is my clean sound. I'm not sure how well you can see that come up on the MC6, but if I hit that guy, it does go to clean. This is clean sound. So that does have some of the Hoff plate reverb on there. It has Nemesis delay. It's a clean setting on the Stomp. And actually, since the Stomp only has 3 snapshots, what I'm doing is my 3 normal snapshots are edge of distortion, crunch, and lead. And so what I'm doing on this first switch is I'm going to the edge setting, but then I'm also turning off a Timmy pedal in there. And so the difference between clean and edge is this. That's clean. That's edge. I struck it pretty hard, so maybe it went a little bit harder there. So that's the difference between those two, just by turning off the Timmy. The crunch setting just adds in basically a Minotaur pedal. And then doesn't change anything with the Ventris. The Ventris reverb is not in use right now. The Nemesis didn't change on any of these settings. If you see the, kind of hard to see the small button in between the foot switch, or small LED between the foot switches. But if I go up to the lead setting from the crunch, you see not only the HX Stomp change from one snapshot to the other, but actually I go up to a bit longer of a delay setting on my lead stuff as well. So the other two that I use quite often, and this is in a praise and worship setting where there's some ambient stuff going on, is I've got a swell setting. And basically that's a longer delay setting again. I am using the Ventris now, both on the E-Dome and Shimmer settings, which gives you that very lush ambient sound. Back on the edge of distortion setting on the HX Stomp. And then the other main one is what I call lush, which is similar to the swell setting. It's just that you can play chords and arpeggiate with it. I think this is set a little bit high right now, but mistakes and all. So at that, there again from the swell, there's a little bit less delay, definitely less ambient stuff in there. I am using shimmer on that, no E-dome there, and I think that's about it for the most part of it. Even though I have these settings duplicated up here on the MC6, that's just because I haven't changed them yet. What I'll end up doing there is using them for alternate functions that I don't use very often, including up here is the tuner. So I'm a little flat there. You know, and other things like that. There have been some other things. One of the main things that I did here is I did have a HX Effects, and basically my pedal board was HX Stomp and HX Effects, probably the 30th iteration of this backup board. But you know, I wanted something that, one, wasn't so big and power hungry as HX Effects. I kind of, you know, found the Ventris going through a bunch of demo videos and things like that. Liked what I was hearing, bought that, love it. I have a Big Sky on my main Helix board that just can't get rid of the Big Sky with some of the shimmer and other settings, and I found the Ventris does it equally well, if maybe not a little bit more powerful. One of the things that I didn't show, and the reason I've kind of got this set as it is, one of the things I do like to do occasionally is you know, do freeze or hold functions. So if I'm on the lush setting, so here's what we've got. I can basically sustain that out forever with a freeze function there. So that freeze function in the Ventris was something I was definitely looking for, because I do that in my Big Sky as well on the other board. You can do that with the Nemesis. I don't like the effect as much, and I've got some barefoot buttons coming in for both that guy and then also the tap tempo delay to give it a little bit of a raise there. It's one of the reasons why I have a little bit of space here on these guys in between some of these pedals to be able to get in there and hit those. But I think with the Bigfoot buttons, that will not be a problem. So anyway, that's my board, and hopefully that'll keep me satisfied for a while. But isn't that what we always say? Have a great afternoon, folks.